Since 2012, LEGO has made over 40 Iron Man minifigures, and in this video, we're looking at every single one.
How about that?
Before we get into it, just a couple things to clear up. We will not be including any characters that are not Tony Stark. This means War Machine, Pepper Potts Rescue, Iron Skull, and Iron Heart minifigures will not be included in this video. We are also not including any buildable Iron Man suits like Hulkbusters or the Snowman thing, nor will we be including Duplo figs or micro figs. We are only looking at Iron Man minifigures. So in 2012, LEGO launched the Marvel theme, and as for Iron Man, we got this one of 125 Iron Man suit. This also happens to be the one Iron Man minifig I do not own, as it is currently valued at over $1,800 USD. At the time this minifigure released, LEGO still hadn't released any actual Marvel sets, so the helmet for this suit is literally printed on the head itself. Now, a lot of people don't actually know which suit this is based off of, so let me fill you in. In the 2013 LEGO Marvel Superheroes video game, this suit is labeled as the Heroic Age suit, making it the Model 37 suit from the comics. Keep in mind, this is the Model 37, not the Mark 37. Also in 2012, we have the Mark 6 appearing in Iron Man 2, The Avengers, and Iron Man 3. This minifigure is very detailed for its time and still holds up to today's minifigures. And the triangle arc reactor is something we didn't get to see very much, but it's really cool. The Mark 7 looks very similar to the Mark 6 with a bit of extra detail and obviously a circle arc reactor. This suit appeared in The Avengers and Iron Man 3. Jumping into 2013, we have our very first Tony Stark minifigure from Iron Man 3. It's a fairly simple minifig, but it's my personal favorite Tony Stark. This is the Mark 17, aka Heartbreaker, which briefly appeared in Iron Man 3. In terms of LEGO though, it's definitely one of the more unique suits and one of the best. This is the iconic Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. In terms of detail, this minifigure does have a lot of it, but it's definitely lacking gold after looking at the suit in the movie. For some reason in 2014, LEGO did not give us any Iron Man minifigures whatsoever, so we're going to jump straight into 2015 with Avengers Age of Ultron. This is the Mark 43, and this figure is a huge step up in detail compared to 2013. Also from Age of Ultron, particularly the final battle, we have the Mark 45, one of my personal favorites when it comes to LEGO. This minifigure is even more detailed than the Mark 43, and the little gray areas on the helmet add so much to this. This is an Iron Legion drone, and there's really not much to say about this minifigure. It is fairly detailed. Under the helmet is a plain orange head. There is a little bit of printing on it, but you really can't tell. Going into 2016, which is undeniably the best year for LEGO Iron Man minifigures, which you will see here shortly, this is the Mark 33, aka Silver Centurion, which is special for one major reason. This figure was a polybag included as a gift with purchase for the LEGO Marvel Avengers video game. And it's special because of the printing not only on the arms but on the side of the legs, making it the most detailed LEGO Iron Man minifig ever made, and there is literally nothing to dislike about this minifigure. And in case you didn't know, this suit did appear in Iron Man 3, and Tony actually wore it for a solid minute or so while trying to save Pepper Potts in the final battle. And speaking of the best LEGO Iron Man minifigure ever made, we're giving away a free brand new Silver Centurion polybag at 2,000 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe for a chance to win. This is the Mark 37, aka Hammerhead. This suit briefly appeared in Iron Man 3 as well, and was made to withstand extreme pressure underwater. In terms of LEGO, it's extremely detailed. I love the sand green color, and it's certainly one of the best Iron Man minifigures. Here is the Mark 39, aka Gemini or Star Boost. This suit also briefly appeared in Iron Man 3 and was made to go into space. The minifigure itself is very cool, but what's special about this minifig is it is the most expensive LEGO Iron Man suit, besides of course the Toy Fair Iron Man, coming in at $76 USD as of right now. And the last suit from 2016 is the Mark 46 from Captain America Civil War. Design wise, the suit is pretty basic, but the interesting part is all of the small arc reactors on the front and back of the torso. A great send off to the amazing year for LEGO Iron Man minifigures 2016. Jumping into 2017, we have by far the goofiest LEGO Iron Man minifigure. This looks to be simply based off of the classic armor from the comics. The reason this minifig looks so goofy is because it's from a theme called Mighty Micros. It was a short-lived theme that involved a hero and a villain in a duel with little go-kart builds, and that was pretty much it. Now here's a comic book Iron Man suit that actually looks good. This is the Invincible Iron Man, aka the Model 51. This is my personal favorite comic book armor in terms of LEGO. Not to mention 2017 also introduced the comic style helmets you see here that do not open up. Lastly from 2017 is the Mark 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming. When it comes to LEGO, the suit is nearly identical in terms of printing to the Mark 46, besides obviously the silver color scheme. Moving into 2018 with Avengers Infinity War, my personal favorite Marvel movie of all time, we have another Tony Stark minifigure. This one is particularly special for two reasons. First of all, it is the most detailed Tony Stark minifigure with arm printing, and secondly, it is from the only LEGO Marvel Bricktober pack ever released, which were Toys R Us exclusives. Of course, we have the Mark 50 from Avengers Infinity War. This is Tony Stark's first nanotechnology suit in the MCU, and the detail on this minifigure is fantastic. It also introduces the Tony Stark face that we've been getting for almost 6 years now. Now, this is a bit of an odd one. We arrived back at the Mark 43 from Avengers Age of Ultron. This figure is completely identical to the original besides the gray areas at the top of the torso. This figure was included in set 76105, the Hulkbuster, and the gray areas on the torso are supposed to represent what the suit looks like inside of the Hulkbuster. Kicking off another year with a Tony Stark minifigure, we have 2019 with Avengers Endgame. This is one of the most unique Tony Stark / Iron Man minifigures. As you can see, the Iron Man suit is only partially connected to the minifig. This particular Tony Stark is supposed to represent the scene where he jumps out of the Avengers Tower in the first Avengers movie. Here we have the iconic Quantum suit from Avengers Endgame. The Quantum suits themselves look really good. The only problem is LEGO was not allowed to spoil anything for Avengers Endgame in 2019, which is why we have a regular Iron Man helmet on this minifig instead of the white helmets they used in the movie, and it's also why we got a War Machine Buster in 2019. During that year, we got the first Iron Man Hall of Armor set with some highly wanted suits from LEGO Marvel fans. This is the Mark 1 from the first Iron Man movie.
My turn.
Everything about this suit is fantastic. The only problem I personally have is the helmet. I do wish they would have created a special helmet mold like they did in the LEGO Marvel Avengers video game, but the comic style helmet is probably the best option for what they had at the time. Moving on with more suits fans had been begging for, this is the iconic Mark 5 suitcase armor from Iron Man 2. Unfortunately, they did not include the actual suitcase in this set, but the minifig still looks amazing, and it reminds me a lot of the amazing Silver Centurion minifig. Here is a suit we did not know we needed. This is the Mark 41, which did briefly appear in Iron Man 3. It's that one suit that splits up into a bunch of pieces. The detail on this minifigure is insane, and now that I think about it, it looks a lot like that black suit from Spider-Man No Way Home. Lastly, from 2019 is the iconic Mark 85 from Avengers Endgame. This suit looks a lot like the Mark 50 with some extra gold and extra detail added in. I absolutely love this minifig. The only thing I wish LEGO would have done with this minifig is added a battle damage alternate face from the results of holding all the Infinity Stones. We kick off 2020 with another Tony Stark minifig. This is easily the worst Tony Stark minifigure we've ever gotten, so we're just gonna move on. In 2020, we got sets based off of the Marvel Avengers video game, which miserably failed and is no longer available, but in terms of LEGO, the minifig is actually really good. The only problem with this minifig being that LEGO gave us at least 800 of these, so everyone got a little bit tired of them. The Mark 30, aka Blue Steel, is yet another suit that appeared in Iron Man 3, and this suit is really cool and unique with the blue color scheme. Only problem I have with this minifig is the comic style helmet. I think the OG MCU helmet would have gone much better with this, but it's a really good figure. And from the same set, also appearing in Iron Man 3, is the Mark 22, aka Hot Rod. This minifig is unique because of the flames on the legs, and like the Mark 30, it's a fantastic minifig, except I do think the OG helmet would have looked better. Here we have another suit that LEGO Marvel fans have wanted for a long time. It's the Mark 2 from the first Iron Man movie. This suit looks fantastic, and it was almost perfect until they added the comic style helmet on it for some reason. All they had to do was make a silver OG style helmet and it would have been perfect. Lastly, from 2020 is the Iron Venom. This is a super cool concept, and all it is the video game armor covered in the Venom symbiote. Well, almost covered in the Venom symbiote. Not a whole lot to say about this minifig, but it's a cool concept that LEGO tried out. In 2021, LEGO hit us with the Infinity Saga sets. LEGO started remaking older sets from Infinity Saga movies and from movies we had never gotten sets for. Which brings us to the Iron Man Mark III from the first Iron Man movie. This minifigure has a classic but modern look and I really love it. This was also the last Iron Man suit to have the OG helmet design, and we'll get into that very soon. Here we have another fairly simple Tony Stark minifig, but this one at least has an exclusive torso. This is based off a shirt he wore in the first Avengers. Definitely not my favorite Tony Stark, but it's still a solid figure. In that year, LEGO made another Iron Venom, and it's completely identical to the original except the helmet is only halfway covered in the symbiote. And from the 2021 Advent calendar, we have the ugly sweater Iron Man. The only exclusive part of this minifig is the torso. The little Iron Man helmets and the snowflake arc reactor look really nice. Otherwise, it's a fairly basic minifig. Going into 2022, we have what looks to be a remake of the Mark 42. LEGO hasn't confirmed this themselves, but I think it's pretty obvious. In terms of movie accuracy, I'd say this one looks a lot better than the other one, but they should have used the original helmet. Now, besides the Toy Fair Iron Man, the Mark 39 may have been the most expensive Iron Man suit, but this is the most expensive minifigure of both Tony Stark and Iron Man suits. The current value of this minifigure is $213 USD. This figure looks to be following the same concept as the one from 2019, but in my opinion it looks worse. It seems to have the Mark 43 armor on the torso, but overall the figure is very bland and there's nothing exclusive besides the actual torso. The only reason I can think of why it's so expensive is because the set it came in was over $500, but even then I feel like this minifig should not be near that price. This is yet another suit that appeared in Iron Man 3, the Mark 25 aka Striker or Thumper. This figure looks fantastic from the printing to the rectangle arc reactor to the handheld attachments, but there's one thing you may notice: the new helmet design. I'm not a fan of these new helmets, I definitely like the OG ones better, but these do look okay on some of the suits. In the same set, we got a remake of the Mark III armor from the year before. This minifigure is literally 100% identical to the previous one, except for the helmet. Also included in the same set was a remake of the Mark 85. And like the Mark III remake, this suit is completely identical to the original Mark 85 besides the helmet. During that same year, we got yet another suit remake. This is the Mark 50, yet again completely identical to the original besides the helmet, so I'm really not going to dive deep into this one. Going into 2023, this is a suit that was actually a good idea to remake. This is the Mark 7 from Avengers. The last time we got a Mark 7 was all the way back in 2012, so remaking this minifig was a great idea. The printing on this minifig is way better, and besides the helmet, it's a huge upgrade from the last one. This is another suit from the comics. I've done a lot of research and can't figure out exactly what this one is based on. It looks very similar to the classic armor, the same suit that the Mighty Micros figure is based off of, but there are some differences. This is the Model 64, another suit from the comics. This minifig was exclusive to the LEGO Marvel Minifigure Dictionary last year. It kind of has a funny look to it, but it's also kind of cool with the black area in the middle, and it's nice to see a triangle arc reactor again. Here we have the most recent Tony Stark minifigure as of now. This is Tony Stark disguised as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, obviously from Avengers Endgame. The torso for these S.H.I.E.L.D. agent minifigs look really nice, but there's really not much to say about this one. Here we have another suit remake that actually makes sense. This is the Mark 6 from the first Avengers, and as you can probably already tell, what's unique about this minifig is the battle damage look. Not only is the printing already a major upgrade from the 2012 version, but the battle damage look on anything makes it look way cooler, and I really hope LEGO will continue to do this in the future. And we move into the current year of 2024 with the goofiest Iron Man minifig I've ever seen, besides the Mighty Micros one, of course. This suit is from the Spidey and His Amazing Friends TV show, so it's not a super important minifig, and the suit definitely looks very animated. There is plenty of detail, and I do kind of like the unique face, but that's it. Going back to Avengers Age of Ultron with more Infinity Saga sets, we have a remake of the Iron Legion. Overall, the printing on this minifig looks better than the original, but they are missing the small Avengers logo on the leg, but it's really not a big deal. The only problem for me being, of course, that they should have used the OG helmet for this minifig. So if you were to take the torso and legs from this one and combine it with the original helmet, it would be perfect. And lastly, the most recent Iron Man minifigure as of the recording of this video is a remake of the Mark 43 from Avengers Age of Ultron. And like the Mark 6 and 7 remakes, this is an upgrade in terms of printing from the original. And with that, we have looked at every single Tony Stark and Iron Man minifigure ever made from 2012 till now. This video took a while to make, so if you made it up to this point, I really appreciate it. But anyways, my voice is dying, I'm gonna head out, and I'll see you all in the next one.